Hello, my name is Christina Moore, and I'm applying for the lead teacher position here at Hammond Westside Montessori. I believe, based on my educational philosophy, classroom management plan, lesson plans, and learning activities and assessments, that I'm the best applicant for this prestigious position. Allow me to briefly share some of those key elements that I possess that can help improve the state performance scores here at Westside Montessori. If a child cannot learn in the way we teach, we must teach in a way a child can learn. My philosophy of education is simple. I believe that every child has the ability to learn, maybe not at the same pace or the same way as another, but there is a light bulb that is waiting to come on. It is my desire as an educator to help students reach that full potential and find a love in learning that they never knew was there. I think it is important to help students discover their strongest area of learning and help them develop that area as their foundation for continual learning. In order for them to develop that foundation, I believe that students should be provided with hands-on materials, engaging lessons, meaningful and relevant activities, and time to self-discover their learning style, their passion, and new information. My management plan has never been focused on behavior issues. I believe it is vital to have some sort of management plan in place to ensure that the classroom is a nurturing, supportive, and learning environment where all students have the opportunity to grow. Having certain procedures in place helps set the tone for the room and keep behavior issues to a minimum. It has always been my goal to create an atmosphere in the classroom that is so engaging that it develops intrinsic motivation and a raised level of self-esteem among the students. With the proper management plan, students will walk out of class every day saying to themselves that class was fun, that they were motivated to be successful, and that they look forward to coming to school each and every day. In order to set up such an environment, preparation is key. And as a lead teacher, I would help other teachers learn and establish their rules and expectations. This includes everything from expecting all assignments to be turned in on time to how students should be expected to respect each other's comments and spaces. I would also assist them in knowing the student's role in the classroom, because students should be expected to take an active role in the classroom, not just through learning, but also through contributing to the environment as well. I would also make sure that teachers were informed of the teacher's role in the classroom, that it's best that if it's less teacher-led and more student-led. I would also assist them in an implementation plan that targets the standards. I believe that as a lead teacher, I would have to continue to remind colleagues that you need to choose how things will work in your classroom and then train students on these procedures. That's exactly how a classroom management plan would be successful. Throughout classes, throughout our state, you will find different school models. They range from the traditional classroom to the charter school or the private school. Now we also have in the classroom many flipped classrooms, hybrid, virtual, or innovation classes. We know that our school, Hammond Montessori, is a private school. And here in a Montessori school, we promote independence and freedom to develop goals for our students. But I do believe with us promoting this independence and freedom for students, that the flipped classroom would also benefit our students tremendously, and it would show an increase in our scores. It would also promote students to have further freedom in developing their goals and more independence in their learning. I learned this different style of school model through an observation that I conducted, where I observed and I did a research where I explored two different types of schools. Both shared some very interesting concepts and unique ways of teaching their students. Many of these concepts have certainly impacted my view on teaching styles and effectiveness in preparing students for the 21st century. If you notice, School A has had many multi-age classrooms, which is very similar to the Montessori school that we have here at Hammond Westside Montessori. Um, at Montessori school, you notice the 21st century skills were collaborating and leadership, problem solving, and creativity. But if you look at the School B, of which I also observe, they practice the flipped classroom model. And their students also was exposed to collaboration and leadership skills and problem solving. But in addition to that, in the flipped classroom, they also exposed their children to creative thinking and communication skills, written and verbally, through the use of technology. I think that our students here at Westside Montessori would truly benefit from that experience. Another key element as lead teacher that I would share with many of my colleagues would be effective lesson planning and design. Important elements of an effective lesson design is instructional objectives, teaching activities, materials, and assessments. The best way to design a lesson plan would be to use the backwards design. It's the most effective method, which is simply creating a lesson starting at the finish line, the test, and ending at the beginning, which is the introduction of the lesson. Students would also have an active role in the learning process by setting goals and taking leadership roles in activities. Also, taking ownership of the lesson by answering questions as well as asking questions about things that they are unclear about. According to Newman, if students are held at an elevated level of accountability, they will usually rise to that level. But if students are not expected to perform well, they will not. Another element that would assist in us raising our scores is our assessments, because assessments matter. Assessments are simply checkpoints, almost like a GPS for teachers, to make sure that students arrive at the desired destination, despite any unexpected roadblocks or issues along the way. Of course, no one likes the stress of assessments and the pressure it brings to perform, but it is necessary to know where a student is so that a teacher knows how to further help them. Assessment is not about you as a teacher. It's about your students. It is about their understanding and the success of the content area that was taught. This is why formative assessments are most important, because they indicate mastery of a skill and drive the next lesson. Without formative assessments, teachers would not be effective in knowing whether to move on to the next lesson or to reteach a skill that's not mastered. It is also important for professional learning communities to be known among colleagues. It is important for every educator to continue their learning and training to ensure that they are providing students with the best level of instruction that they can offer. As new technology is developed, teachers must stay abreast by attending workshops and conferences that will not only better improve their classroom, but it will also equip them with more 21st century skills to impart and develop in their students. As an educator, I am encouraged to never stop learning. To teach is to touch lives forever.